Hello, welcome to Book and Bujo. I'm Debbie, and today we are doing a flip through of my 2022 reading journal. So I definitely needed the band as it's quite full. So let's just get started and check it out. So down at the bottom here, I have the dimensions. So basically how many dots there are across and then up and down. Of course, since it's a square notebook, those are the same. And then I started out with my quote, "Let us go and seek out other mysteries to explore for the moment." And that is from The Night Circus. Had fun with quotes. The new year stands before us like a chapter in a book waiting to be written. I had some reading goals. My bookshelf tracker, I had to add more books up here on top because I filled everything in. And then the list of all of the books read with my rating. So I had the book, the author, and then the rating. And I had a couple of pages of that. And then I had my Pop Sugar Challenge, which I did complete. My A to Z, which I also did complete. My Battle of the Books, so I had January, February, and March in here, and for those first 3 months for Q1 of Cinder and Bone by Kyoko M was the winner. It is a wonderful series all about dragons. And then readathons that I completed, and read-alongs, Buzzwordathon, which I also completed. My Bible reading tracker, so making sure I got through the entire Bible in a year, and I did go through a chronological plan, which is one of the reasons I wanted to keep track, because sometimes you stopped mid-chapter. And I have my book series tracker. And sometimes all you need is a good book and a cup of tea. Best quote ever. 2022, and then here's my January. So I have a quote from Oscar Wilde. "A dreamer is one who can only find his way by moonlight, and his punishment is that he sees the dawn before the rest of the world." I did miss a few spots on here where I didn't get all of the pencil erased, but there we go. I did get some tabs going on this side as well. So I basically had my TBR, was tracking how many days I read, and then some reading stats down at the bottom. I don't believe I kept up with this very well as the year went by. Book bingo, January thoughts. I did get a full memo printer for Christmas in 2021, so I was using that to print off some of my book titles. And I don't think I kept up with that either. And then into February. "Even now I steal outdoors in the dead of night to sit on the tree swing and watch the shadows breathe in the moonlight" by Deborah K. Rogers. So again, my TBR, my book bingo, my stats. Another quote by Ruby Carr. "We are all born so beautiful. The greatest tragedy is being convinced we are not." I love that one. And then more thoughts on the books that I read with the book covers printed out. And I got some fun map washi tape as well. And then, oh yes, now we're moving into March. And so this was Orilium Academy. And this is where we got all of the fun information. And so I have my TBR and my reading stats again. Book thoughts, and then for some reason I changed paper into this orange paper and it just did not want to print very well anymore, and I think that's one of the reasons I stopped printing those out. It worked on some and not quite so well on others. I don't know if it was just that orange paper that was in there or if it was something else. And then for April, my actual TBR for the Orilium Academy. And I was going to be, my character Ariel is Fey Wild Cartographer, and Karastu is a scribe. And then it was also the time of the Realm of the Readathon with covers with Cassidy, and so I have that in here as well. The prompts and points tip in here. And this is more of the TBR, and then my stats. The Wild Moon Inn, so those were some extra quests that we could do with Orilium Academy. And then Battle of the Books for Q2 ended up being coming down to Sword of Kaigen, The Golden Fool, and Fool's Fate. Both of those bottom two are part of The Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb, but I chose A Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wong. And this is one of my favorite cover pages, and I will leave the link down below in the description box to the bullet journaler who created this theme that I adapted for my bullet journal. So May, the inspiration you seek is already within you. Be silent and listen. And that is from Rumi. Again, day spent reading. And another quote to the readers who look up at the stars and wish. Again, my TBR. And this was actually 48-hour Becca Bookoplathon. So I have that in here as well. And then again, more bookish thoughts without the book covers being printed. And then for June, this was Read Down Your Kindle or Kindle-a-thon. I don't remember the name of the readathon, but I will leave their channel link down below because they do it every year. I believe it's Readers C is one of them, and Rylan Reads might be the other one. I'll leave them linked down below. So it was actually kind of fun. I just put my Kindle on here and then I just traced around it to make sure I had the correct dimensions. So that was kind of fun. So again, days read, my stats, my TBR. Here's the, that was Back to Kindle. So Back to Kindle Readathon, and that was hosted by Reading with Rylan and Readers C. So I was close. And anytime I get a TBR jar, I always try and leave the prompt that I got taped into my TBR, so I remember in the future. And then we also had a little mini star hop here, and that was with Stephanie's book verse, and I will leave her channel linked below as well. And then Breath of the Wild-a-thon, and that is with Little Book Owl. And then for July, we had Quest-A-thon, and we got to create a character for that one. So my character is Ronan, and so here's all of the prompts and everything that we had for that. And my stats, again, my TBR, more with Quest-A-thon. And we have, again, continuing with Quest-A-thon, all the prompts. And then we had Orilium Academy again. So this is August, and then she has your guild tier here. And so I printed those off, one for Ariel, one for Karasu, and I left that in here. And I have their information here as well. And then my scholar's key for each of them, and then I actually printed off the little awards that we got for the guilds that won different things. And then my TBR for the quests. And again, we got the Honor Guild here for Master of Elements. So those are both for Ariel. These ones are for Karasu, and we got an extra award for reading least amount of books, but second biggest average of pages per book. So we didn't read a lot of books, but we read big books. So again, got my prompts and the books I read for that, and whether I read them or not. And then we had Polarthon with JD Ray Reads. And then we also had with Jan Agaton, usually it's in October, but I must have been in August as well this year, a little mini readathon. So my August TBR again, and then into September where we had the Seasonathon Academy, and that was with Kaylani Simply Me. September TBR, and of course Becca's Bookopoly, or Becca's Bookoplathon, which is typically in September. And I always try and print it out and tape in the board for that year in my reading journal. Seasonathon Academy prompts and whether I completed them or not. And then into October and my 13 spooky reads. So I have a couple quotes in here. One of them is from Ray Bradbury from The Halloween Tree. The wind outside, nested in each tree, prowled the sidewalks in invisible treads like unseen cats. And then from Yeats, the trees are in their autumn beauty. The woodland paths are dry under the October twilight. The water mirrors the sky. My mom actually printed this little image off for me, and so I colored it in and added it. I'm not actually sure where she got that, but it was in black and white and I put some color in there. So my October TBR, and then we also had The Haunting of Reader's House, which I have over here, and these were the different teams and the prompts for each week to see whether we made it out of the haunted house or not. And then we also had the Breath of the Wildathon, also with Little Book Owl, and that was all of the prompts for that. I'm on Team Revalia. And then my 13 spooky reads. These ones, it's basically whatever books I have in my TBR, I add to this, and then if I need to add any others that are somewhat Halloween-ish, then I add them here. So I didn't quite finish these in time. I did finish both of those, but not quite in time for the end of October. And again, my stats, some more thoughts on some of the books, and then November. And my November theme was Ibasho, which is kind of whereabouts, place, location, or residence, a place where one feels like home, where they feel like themselves. So I thought that was a great one for November. My TBR prompts and other random books that I read for book clubs and other things. And then again, book thoughts and some stats. This one I was given a book by the author to read, and so I wanted to take some notes on the book to make sure I knew what was going on and I would remember, but I will leave a link to the Quiet Thunder review in the cards above for you. And then I didn't quite need as much room as I thought in here for notes for that. It was a very good book though, I do recommend it. And then my Adagio tea calendar, I actually left all of the little tea bags in here, so I mean you can still smell them. This journal smells amazing, and so I put all of the different teas in here for each day and my thoughts on them. So I have multiple days for that, and I ended up getting 2 calendars, and I think I might actually have both of them in here. And then more random things. Oh, so I wanted to print off some of the different things for descriptions for tea, so I have that in here as well, and I still actually look at that occasionally. So this was the second tea calendar that I got. And then December. December has the clarity, the simplicity, and the silence you need for the best fresh start of your life, by Vivian Swift. And I just noticed I did not cross my T here. So again, my TBR, book clubs and readathons that I participated in, my 12 books of Christmas and 12 movies of Christmas that I also do every year. So again, I try and fit as many Christmas books into my TBR as possible, and then if I don't quite get 12, then I'll read extras. And then I try and watch at least 12 movies between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Sometimes I watch extra. And then Lightfall was, for Old Favor Pass, was another part of G at Book Roast's Orilium Academy. So we had some quests that we could do. So basically there was a map of the town, and you can stop at different places in the town that's nearby and then read a book based on that location. So the Old Tales Bookshop, Shawl and Shank Legitimate Retailer, Wallace's Wonderful Winter Winimals was very fun. And then here's some of the signs for each of those. Then we also had the Festive Readathon with Steph Loves, and the December Days and Nights with Books and Bops. And I think I forgot to mention, so back here in October, where we had The Haunting of Reader's House, that is also Books and Bops. And this one was only for a weekend, this was for the full month. The Reindeer Readathon with Eric at Break Even Books, also a full month readathon, and I was on Team Snowflake with Noelle 7 pages. And then I have stats at the end as well. And then the continuation of the Joy Advent Calendar, which I didn't quite finish filling out. I did drink all the teas, I just haven't put all my thoughts on there yet. And then I didn't quite finish this side either. So we'll see. I do have some blank pages. I had planned on doing some other oil pastels and watercolors, practicing my lettering with quotes and stuff. I just haven't gotten to that. There's still days when I get a challenge where I want to do a watercolor or something, and I'll come back to this book since there's empty pages in it and use that. Pen swatches, my 2022 stats, and then also the book club's planning for 2023. What I was going to be reading, and then I have another blank page which I could use for more lettering practice and watercolors. My reading journal 2023 plans, so how I wanted my journal to look, things I wanted to include, some possible bingo prompts, holiday book haul, and then of course I had to continue my reading list of books read because I ran out of room at the front of the notebook. And I ended up with a couple more pages here. Oh, I know what I did. So I had done these last 2 pages towards the end, and then I had to come back to this page to do even more because I got up to 253 books read. And my Goodreads challenge, I did want 259. I only made it to 253, which is totally fine. That's still more books than I really actually wanted to read. Goodreads 2021 Choice Awards, and I did read 4 of those in 2022. And I don't think I've read any of them this year. Nope, I didn't get to any of the other ones, so it's only been those 4 that I've read from that list. Continued with my book series tracker. I have now actually read all of these, and most of those, probably about half of those. I did get to one more of that one. I got one more of this one in, and I did finish this series as well. And then my Amazon borrows, so all the books that I've read and then returned and borrowed new ones, so I've gotten actually through quite a few books that way. And these ones, I have finished Dragon Mage as well. Let's see, my Shadowhunter Readathon tracker, my 13 in 12, so 13 nonfiction books that I want to read and 12 classics. I was trying to read a nonfiction and a classic every month. And then my 22 in 2022 series that I wanted to try and get to. I did get to quite a few of them. I didn't start this until January of 2023. It was the first book was for December and January. And then I still haven't gotten to either of these series yet. I did start this one though, the Greatcoat series. And then my D20 roll, so I would do a D20 roll each month and choose one of the books off of this list. Then as I read it, I would put it in pen and then write a new one in pencil underneath it. And then a bunch of quotes that I liked, like, "Don't wait, the time will never be just right," Napoleon Hill. "Everything you seek lies on the other side of fear," Ryan Cahill. Let's do one more. "Everyone loses faith, Jack, everyone. One way or another, but the difference between us and them is getting it back. You only fail when you give up. Everything else is just an inconvenience." And that was said by Kamal to Jack in Of Cinder and Bone by Kyoko M. And then a couple more quotes here, and then just some random papers that I had at the back of some different prompts that you could do for bingos, 20 book TBR, so that's another D20 roll one. Some other books I wanted to get to. Bible journaling prompts, so different journal prompts, and then I had some graph paper still in the back. And nothing in the pocket, which I feel like I can't open it. There we go. Oh, I do have a couple things in the pocket. Again, it's just one of my TBRs from February and an Orilium TBR in there. So I don't really use the pockets, which is kind of funny. I should just shove all this in there. Yeah, except for the ones that don't fit. Makes it a little easier. All right, so that is my 2022 reading journal. So thank you so much for joining me, and please like, comment, and subscribe if you wanna, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other videos from me, like my upcoming 2022 bullet journal flip throughs. Got both of these to go through. And also my 2024 planner lineup. So stay tuned to check those out. And if you made it this far, leave a book or a pen, a marker, fountain pen emoji in the comments to let me know that you were here. And until next time, keep reading.